The environment has forced us, because of difficulties in business, to look at new ways of doing things. And in the last 7-8 years, we said, well, though people have paid lip service to human resources, many organizations have said, these are the differentiators, people are the differentiators. And we've noticed that there are a few people who can be game changers and who create value. And that is what forced us to look at, especially when business were going downhill. Said, what do we do? Who can we ask to take this forward? There is a very difficult negotiations with the customer. What do we do about it? So that's when we said we should look at high potentials. We should look at who are our stars. And sometimes we found that the pipeline was almost dry. And therefore we were forced to look at buying that resource from outside. And we've been surprised because of the value add they brought. And then I've also experienced that yes, there are certain stars, we've lost people. And if we do not do something and take care of them, they will create value elsewhere. So one has to be selfish for the organization and nurture your people right now.
Now, if you have got to keep large global businesses running, right, you need chief executives, you need functional heads, you need CFOs, you need marketing heads. Where do you get? The large mass of employees probably will not be able to fill these positions up. We acquire new businesses, we create new businesses. The group is in such a growth phase that every day the turnover changes, and therefore you need to find a way to fill leadership pipeline positions. And we believe that if you are able to identify HiPos, people who have the ability to move fast, people have the ability to shoulder higher responsibilities, they are the ones who would fill up leadership pipeline. Therefore, it's a business imperative for us that we create strong leadership pipeline, and HiPos are the feeding stock to those leadership pipeline process.
When I was in Vodafone, we had always the burning need, the compelling need for the purpose of business continuity to have individuals who can play higher complex roles in various geographies. And that made us realize that we need to have that constant talent pipeline where we constantly beef it up with the right kind of developmental programs, where we make HiPo readies to take up those higher complex roles. Coming to my current organization, which is RPG Group, it's a business conglomerate, it's very, very diverse. Where do you get that constant supply of talent who can go and take up those roles in this kind of geographically spread environments? So to ensure that the organization has a diverse and capable talent pool, we have to invest steadily in this kind of a HiPo program.
A lot of focus on developing capabilities in terms of business intelligence, in terms of core specialization of what client requires. I think those are the kind of things which made us look at service as an offering rather than just as a product. So one was client expectation very clearly. Second was, I think, the cost pressures itself. Every time you go to the business now, the cost margins are going to come down, which does not mean that you will compensate on your services offering. And therefore, how do you effectively manage the P&Ls? How do you effectively generate more productivity out of the entire thing? Because that's the more focus. So your high potential have to consistently drive in terms of driving better efficiencies.
I think given the business environment that we are in at the moment, it is important that we look at it. So the kind of growth, the exponential growth that the companies were looking at a few years back with all the things happening around in the economy and then sudden dip, it highlights the cracks in the foundation that we were laying for creating leadership for the organization. Suddenly we realized that there were people who were at one point of time appearing very confident and capable of driving the organization to the next level were becoming weak. They were not able to handle the pressures and constraints that they were required to in that environment. And that highlighted the need that we need to have people who understand both the sides of it and will be able to drive the organization to the next level.
As far as sector is concerned, this is telecom, which is highly competitive and very, very dynamic. And having said that, it's very important to have the change readiness inside the company and to stay ahead of the competition. You have to take care of the talent aspect, and nurturing of HiPos is very, very critical and important.